soulful energy. Mahoney, whose last feature was 2011's Yelling to the Sky, brings a grittier, more intimate lens to the sequel. Her approach isn't as polished as Prince Bywood's, but it has its own raw power. The opening sequence in Split is a chaotic symphony of action. Andy storms a neon-lit villa. Joe and Nikki tear through the streets in a car chase straight out of a Fast and Furious flick. And Niall crashes a speedboat through a window in a moment that'll make you gasp. Barry Ackroyd, the cinematographer behind The Hurt Locker, lenses these scenes with visceral intensity, his camera darting and weaving, sometimes shaky, but always pulling you into the chaos. Yet Mahoney's real triumph comes in quieter moments, like a stunning single-take shot where Andy walks through a Roman alley, the walls morphing from modern graffiti to ancient stone, as if she's stepping through centuries to face Gwen. It's a visual poem, a moment where time itself feels alive, and it's one of the many reasons this film demands to be seen. The cast is where the Old Guard 2 truly shines. Charlize Theron is a force of nature as Andy, carrying millennia of guilt, love, and defiance in every glance. Her performance is raw yet restrained. Watch her in the reunion with Gwen, where her eyes betray a storm of emotions no dialogue could capture. Veronica Noah's Gwen is the film's beating heart, her pain and fury so palpable you'll feel in your bones. After centuries trapped in an Iron Maiden, drowning over and over, her performance is a mix of feral intensity and heartbreaking vulnerability. Uma Thurman as Discord brings a chilling menace, though the script doesn't always give her the depth to match her Kill Bill-esque swordplay. Henry Golding's Tua, an immortal historian, adds charm and gravitas, explaining the lore of immortality with a warmth that grounds the film's fantastical elements. Marwan Kenzari and Luca Marinelli, as the immortal lovers Joe and Nikki, are underused, but their brief scenes, like a tender moment where they question their eternal bond, are pure magic. Matthias Schoenaerts Booker, exiled after betraying the team, carries a soulful weight, his redemption arc one of the film's most compelling threads. Chiwetel Ejiofor's Copley, sadly, feels like an afterthought, a waste of an actor who could have done so much more. Kiki Lane's Niall, the newest immortal, drives the plot with her ability to strip or transfer immortality, but her arc lacks the depth of the first film. Let's talk about the money behind the spectacle. The first Old Guard was made for $70 million, a bold investment for a Netflix film. It paid off, becoming one of the streamer's biggest hits in 2020. The Old Guard 2 reportedly cost around $100 million, and you can see every penny on screen. From the sun-drenched cliffs of Split to the ancient streets of Rome, from a hideout in Rimini to a nuclear facility in Indonesia, the locations are as much a character as a cast. But Netflix doesn't do box office numbers. They measure success in views, and this sequel hit #1 on their charts within 24 hours, proof of its magnetic pull. Yet, the critical response has been less kind. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a brutal 23% based on 83 reviews, with Metacritic at a middling 44 out of 100, compared to the first film's 80% and 70. Critics call it muddled, incomplete, even a $100 million prologue, and that cliffhanger ending, where Andy and Gwen vow to save their captured team only for the screen to fade to black, has sparked as much anger as anticipation. No third film has been greenlit, leaving fans wondering if this is another Divergent, a franchise left dangling. Behind the scenes, this film's journey was a saga of its own. Filming wrapped in 2022, but post-production hit snags, with reshoots in 2023 delaying the release to 2025. Some whisper of budget cuts, with one ex-user claiming the film had major budget problems all over it. The switch from Prince Bywood to Mahoney stirred debate. Prince Bywood's knack for blending action and emotion was a hallmark of the first film, and Mahoney's more straightforward style doesn't quite match it. The script, co-written by Greg Rucka and Sarah L. Walker, dives deep into the comics lore, but some argue it juggles too much. Gwen's revenge, Discord schemes, new immortality rules, without giving each the space to breathe. Controversies are few, but that cliffhanger has fans divided. Some ex-posts call it a tease for an unconfirmed sequel, while others are hooked, eager for a trilogy. The lack of closure feels like a gamble, one that could either pay off or leave the story unfinished. The music, composed by Max Ehrich, Ruth Barrett, and later Stephen Thumb, trades the first film's haunting melodies for a moodier, less memorable score. It's effective in action scenes, driving the pulse of battles, but lacks the emotional punch of Volker Bertelmann and Dustin O'Halloran's work. The opening's use of pop songs feels out of place, a step down from the first film's Born Alone, Die Alone by Madeleine Duke. Aykroyd's cinematography, though, is a revelation. His lens captures the grit of combat and the beauty of settings like Rome's ancient alleys and Croatia's coastal vistas. That time-hopping shot with Andy and Gwen is a masterstroke, using light and shadow to mirror their fractured bond. Awards? Don't hold your breath. The first film earned praise but no major trophies, and this sequel's mixed reviews make nominations unlikely. Still, its viewership could snag a streaming award, like a People's Choice nod. Its industry impact, though, is undeniable. Prince Bywood broke ground as the first black woman to direct a big-budget comic book film, and Mahoney carries that torch. The film's diverse cast and queer representation, Joe and Nikki's love story, though underutilized, remains a standout, pushed the genre toward inclusivity. Compared to Highlander, it's more grounded. Unlike Avengers, it's introspective, not flashy. It stands apart from Netflix's action churn, like Extraction, by asking what it means to live forever, to lose love, to fight for a world that doesn't see you. Picture this. Andy and Gwen clashing in a Roman alley, their blades singing with centuries of pain. Niall wrestling with a power that could end immortality. Booker seeking forgiveness in a world that forgotten him. The Old Guard, too, isn't flawless. Its pacing stumbles, its characters sometimes fade, but it's a story that dares to feel. It's about broken people, immortal or not, fighting for purpose. So, dim the lights, grab your popcorn, and let this film pull you into its world. It's a ride you won't forget. Hey everyone, imagine a world where time is both a gift and a curse, where warriors who cannot die walk among us, their blades flashing through centuries, their hearts heavy with the weight of endless lives. This is the world of The Old Guard 2, a film that doesn't just flicker across your screen. It seizes you, pulls you into its raw, beating heart, and demands you feel every moment. I'm here to tell you why this movie, this jagged, beautiful gem, is something you absolutely must experience. Picture us sitting by a fire, the world quiet except for crackle of flames, as I weave you into a story of immortality, betrayal, and redemption that'll leave you breathless. Let's begin where all great stories start, with the people who lived them. 5 years ago, in the summer of 2020, The Old Guard burst onto Netflix, a surprise hit that took the superhero genre and turned inside out. It introduced us to a band of immortal mercenaries, led by Charlize Theron's Andromache Scythia, and their friends, a warrior who's been fighting for humanity since before empires rose and fell. Fast forward to July 2nd, 2025, and The Old Guard 2 picks up the thread, weaving a tale that's darker, messier, and more ambitious than its predecessor. Andy, once invincible, is now mortal. Her regenerative powers gone, yet she's still at the forefront, swinging her Labrie's axe with ferocity that makes your pulse race. The story kicks off 6 months after the first film, with Andy leading her team, Joe, Nikki, Niall, and their ally Copley, into a high-stakes mission in Split, Croatia, to retrieve a weapons cache. But the real storm brews with the return of Gwen, played by Veronica No, who's clawed her way out of an underwater prison after 500 years of drowning and reviving. Her rage at Andy, her former soulmate, is a wound that cuts deeper than any blade. Throw in a new villain, Discord, portrayed by Uma Thurman, and a mysterious immortal named Tua, brought to life by Henry Golding, and you got a narrative that's as much about ancient grudges as it is about modern warfare. The director's chair has a new occupant this time, Victoria Mahoney, stepping in for Gina Prince Bywood, who crafted the first film's vibrant, soulful energy. Mahoney, whose last feature was 2011's Yelling to the Sky, brings a grittier, more intimate lens to the sequel. Her approach isn't as polished as Prince Bywood's, but it has its own raw power. The opening sequence in Split is a chaotic symphony of action. Andy storms a neon-lit villa. Joe and Nikki tear through the streets in a car chase straight out of Fast and Furious flick. And Niall crashes a speedboat through a window in a moment that'll make you gasp. Barry Aykroyd, the cinematographer behind The Hurt Locker, lenses these scenes with visceral intensity, his camera darting and weaving, sometimes shaky, but always pulling you into the chaos. Yet Mahoney's real